Cool, buddy. So,
All right.
you ready to start this thing or what?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, what are we
All right.
doing? So, East meets West. Let's have a chat.
Part two
Part two,
or second week.
second week.
Yeah.
Professional realtors here in the industry.
Yeah,
Hussein's from Pickering.
that's right. Made the trek out to Kleinburg today.
Yeah.
Took me 45, 50 minutes, I guess.
Car must be faster. What
Well,
did it take me? An hour and a half.
Well, at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
At 6 a.m. It's not too
time I
bad,
had,
right?
yeah,
6
yeah.
a.m. I
Yeah.
think, by 6:15 I was leaving Pickering, so just before
7
o'clock
a.m.
I got
Yeah.
out here. Yeah.
So I left at that time, 7 a.m. So I got construction right at the mouth of my street, right in the middle of King and 27. Then Kleinburg, near Kleinburg. And then imagine like Teston Road is more construction. Like getting to you guys just to get to the 407 was an hour. And the highway was about a half an hour.
That's crazy, just to
Yeah.
get to the 407.
Brutal.
But you know what? I think it's like at 7 o'clock, everyone is kind of leaving for work, and we know a lot of people just tend to commute into the city, right? So I think that all starts to get congested in there.
Brutal. I just gave up. It's this just
So maybe we got to do like leave our territories at 6 a.m.
no. I think you're
Yeah,
right. You have
yeah,
to
we
have
leave
to,
our
have to
territories at
hammer
6
it,
a.m.
have to
and
hammer it early.
An hour we're there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not too bad.
Yeah.
So it's been a week since this marijuana has been legalized. Any
Yeah.
of your rentals blown up or complaints from any of your landlords?
No, so my landlords are good because they're my clients. I've already, had a chat with them, so concentrated talk just about what to do and how to proceed with this,
Yeah.
right? Like just go with caution. Like if you have you know your tenants personally, right? And
Yeah.
a lot of them are not going to be doing this, but cautionary. Use your discretion. I said if
Yeah.
you feel like you don't want to send a letter or have a chat about it, then don't
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
It's all obviously up to you. I'm going to send it out. I said just to kind of put us. I have one that maybe it's a new tenants in there. I don't know too well, but the other two I'm very comfortable with, and the other ones.
Yeah.
But the new duplex I did, I think that one they would have to worry just a little bit about.
Okay. And this is your personal or your investment properties?
Yeah. Yes.
And what about your clients? Like, did you do anything different for your clients? Did your clients end up calling you and asking you? Because I know you've been putting out information.
Yeah.
Like, did your clients reach out to you and say, hey, like, what do we do in this situation? I actually had one of my clients call me and say, hey, is there a way that we can revise the lease? Because,
Can't.
yeah, exactly, can't revise it. And I'm not sure. What do you think? Do you think we might be able to not get away with this, but on a yearly basis, we can do a small increase, right, in the rents, right, based on the landlord-tenant board, whatever rate that they put up.
Yeah.
Do you think it might be worth basically, or can we do this and basically ask the tenant to sign a new lease and say, hey, listen, we won't do this,
Yeah.
small percentage increase or 2% increase or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get you to sign a new lease and maybe include the clauses.
Yeah, by
in
far.
there.
I think don't even ask. Just get it done, right? This is a new. Listen, the banks and the insurance companies haven't weighed in on it. The banks give you the money based on the value of your property. If you're doing something in the house that's going to lower the value of the property, how does that affect the banks? So they just don't want to discriminate right now and come out and say, okay, we don't want this done in these properties that we're mortgaging. They just don't want to discriminate. It's a very that's the problem, right? Look at that video I did online just regarding, and it was, I don't care who smokes or who grows. I'm not biased by it. I don't know if it looks that way, but I don't care, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me. But it's just don't do it in the house. I'm just looking at your most valuable valuable possession. And there is people in uproars. They're like, oh my gosh, you got reefer paranoia. It's like, dude, that's not no reefer paranoia.
Yeah.
Just don't do it in your bloody house. Oh, you guys are in an uproar. You're missing the point.
Yeah.
If you own the house, it's worth $500,000.
Yeah.
Now, so look, I did a deal in the city last week. That $1.3 million custom built house. So the clause came in naturally.
Yeah.
And it's that make sure the house hasn't been used for the growth of marijuana.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, or so if that clause is in there, my clients are growing just recreational marijuana. They're under the seal. They have to tell us that it was we grew marijuana in here, right?
With that clause in there, which has become more or less a standard clause that we add in, right? And I know some brokerages have also incorporated into their Schedule Bs, which gets attached to the full purchase and sale. So I guess at that time, but I think it's probably still too new, and there's got to be some rules around it that are still probably going to come out, right? Like what constitutes something to be like labeled as let's call it like dangerous or use of like maybe growth for commercial purposes. They're probably going to end up starting to basically revise the clauses, and maybe this might lead out to the home inspections, and I'm not sure, maybe we should talk to a home inspector, but maybe home inspectors will be changing some of the ways that they go and inspect a property.
Everybody's so confused.
Really, yeah.
Lawyers, insurance agents, mortgage agents. Home inspectors don't know what the hell they're doing. Do you think their associations already pulled them in and say, they should have done this a year ago? They knew this was, when Trudeau went into power, when was it, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
It was already,
3 years ago, yeah.
This should have already been in the works. Okay, guys, we're going to legalize marijuana. This is how we're going to start approaching stuff.
I feel like all they did is that they just legalized it and set like the most basic ground rules for this whole thing.
They just unloaded it.
Makes sense.
It's like, hey,
it just got thrown at you, and it's just
we got voted in.
Yeah.
Take it.
Yeah.
You got it. And then he denounced that he won't. He denounced, publicly that he won't be using recreational marijuana or marijuana itself. So he gets all these votes and he gets the votes, pretends that he's somebody that he's not.
Yeah.
To me, that's disrespectful. If he was so pro marijuana, he should be smoking weed with the rest of the crew.
Well,
right.
You know what?
What's wrong with it? You're a prime minister. You can't smoke weed.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Is there a stigma around that?
Well,
so you know what I mean? It's a double-edged sword.
Well, it's still new, and let's see how that kind of.
It's 1,000,000 years old, buddy.
Just being legalized. Is it true? Like, I think I heard that we're the second country or third country that's actually legalized it.
I'm not even sure. I know Amsterdam was always the forefront.
Everybody knew about.
I think Colorado was the state.
Yeah,
that
so we're probably like the second or third country somewhere around there that's actually legalized it.
For sure.
But see, like I guess in the U.S. there's been states that has, right? Like here it's like countrywide,
open wide. Yeah. You get that generic. Letter in the mail. Just got no explanation about anything.
Well, it was last week. Remember, like we did this last week, our first episode on the Wednesday, and then Wednesday was the day that it actually got legalized or whatever. And on Tuesday night, we get the card in the mail, just like this basic card that says next to nothing.
It's got nothing. This is a waste of mail.
Yeah.
So imagine you running your business like that.
Or just not knowing, or just throwing somebody in the situation.
We always think that they're so organized and they're so put together, like the government, the way they do stuff. They're full of shit. They're terrible. Like, it's just, they should have law. They should have been working the last 3 years on set laws per province, and that's it.
But see,
very basic stuff. Where to smoke it, where to grow it, how much, how big the plant's gonna be, and then just say this is the caveats. So going back to that clause. So I'm selling a house, you got a buyer, you put this clause in regarding the growth of marijuana or any manufactured drugs or something like that. And then my client's got to disclose. They're signing under the seal. They're obligated to tell the truth about especially that clause. People will lie, naturally. But let's just say my clients usually will do the good thing and tell the truth. Now your clients are like, well, I got a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
And there's a stigma. Maybe there's no mold. Maybe there's nothing. But in their minds, it's like...
it's a government too, but
But what happens to your property?
Yeah.
Your buyers of my property. What happens to my sellers? So they grew marijuana recreationally because it was legal.
Yeah.
They went for 5 years growing weed. And now your clients are like, I didn't know they grew weed for 5 years there.
Yeah.
I don't want my kids to be in there. We're paying $1 million for the house. I'll give them $950. Maybe I got to take down drywall. I have to get now more infrared searches with the inspector. It just opens up a can of worms, right? Buy a bloody shed, put it outside, and do it outside. Grow it, right? And you think people are really going to stick to 4 plants?
I don't think so. If you're going to make the effort of doing it,
you're going to do it. Your speed limit's 50. People do 75,
Or 140 on
Yeah, exactly. Well, you're going to get those guys that are going to be... The whole basement is a friggin' lab, right? It looks like Cheech and Chung Part 2 up in smoke, right? So...
But you know what? Even aside from the real estate component of it, as we're talking about it, what I'm realizing is that I feel like there was so much business opportunity that just didn't probably get capitalized. I don't know. We're in the real estate business. I didn't actually see any home inspector come out and say, "Hey, we're going to help protect your buyers by doing this extra service and this extra service." I thought that I'm just thinking about that and saying that would have been pretty cool.
Nobody cares.
You don't think so?
A good inspector. So let's just say we're in the inspection business. We would have thought of that ahead of time. Yeah. It was like, okay, dude, we gotta. This is it. We're gonna go the extra mile. That's how we're gonna find out.
Because inspections typically aren't cheap. If you go with go with it. I know there's a range. You could pay, I think, as low as $200 or something.
Never got that deal.
I don't want to take the deal. I've been offered that deal, but I wouldn't take that deal. But I think most of our inspections come out to $500-$600 or something like that. And I think at that level,
you need to know, right?
Yeah. Just as a marketing thing, as a business thing, do you know what I mean? How cool would it be if you were out there in the front saying hey, we have a way of we can't they're not going to guarantee anything. Their whole report basically says is that, hey, this is a visual inspection of the condition today. We could tell you a little bit of what happened yesterday beyond, but tomorrow I can't really tell you what's going to happen with this property.
As a day of, for sure.
So there should be like some kind of a component in there that says is that, hey, we're going to take the extra effort to check if this happened or this happened, and we'll kind of give you a report on it.
But also know the steps. Like, I think they should follow the procedures of marijuana. So even before all this happened, all my rental properties and my lease agreement always has 4 inspections.
Yeah.
Why? Because it takes 3 months to grow marijuana. From like what I've been told by cultivators, like from day 1 to day 3 to the 3rd month is when you're going to get your buds if it's highly concentrated and the whole thing. So I'll do random inspections, and mind you, my tenants are good. I don't even show up. I haven't seen some houses in 2 years. But I mean, ultimately, like in the beginning, I would just test it, right?
Just to make sure.
Just to make sure that nothing's going on.
See, I always write in a clause in the lease as well, is that basically says that the landlord has the right to revisit the property every quarter or something like that.
Same thing.
Yeah, and then so that you know what I tell my clients typically is I just tell them, you know what, don't go there with the intention of doing an inspection. Like I know it might sound wrong or whatever, but I would just basically say, hey, just like, make up an excuse to be there for whatever reason that you got to replace a filter or whatever. Take a coffee for them or something else like that. Build up this kind of like rapport with them almost. So it's easy for you to go in. You know what I mean? It's easy for you to go in. Yeah. And if you do this, like, say within the first, like the 3 months, the 6 months, and then if you want the 9 months, but like once you've done that, I think you'd also have a comfort level of, what's going on and what's not, right? And I think you could feel more comfortable. And I think a little bit your tenant might even be like, I don't know if this guy's going to show up, and they may not kind
element
of
of surprise.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, it's true too. You build that rapport, right? And you kind of feel the person. Like Christmas, we bring them wine, and there's a basket, and they're constantly getting mail. It's like they become clients rather than tenants. I see them more as a partner rather than just, let's say, a tenant, right? And you want to keep that relationship going. So that's why I'm not worried. But I sent out the letter anyways. I just want to see the impact of how it. So I talked to one tenant yesterday, just because we got to renew her insurance. And I told her, like, a letter's come in the mail, there's the growth of marijuana happening. And she's like, mother, of like 3, the husband's a mechanic. Like, just, it doesn't fit their criteria.
Sure.
Like they're not gonna do, I don't see it. So she's like, you got nothing to worry about, Steve. It's like not gonna happen. I said, the letter's out, just have a read. It's all good. I know. We know you the last 3 years, so I'm sure we're still. Yeah. It's not gonna.
But it's still,
take place in there, right?
It's just still mind-boggling to me. I know, like, I want to get off this topic, but like, it's just still mind-boggling to me of like how nothing was communicated. Like, I know people that work in the hospital. Do you know what I mean? And they had no communication. It was just like, hey. Did they tell you how to deal with patients if you notice that they're high or something happens or whatever else like that? No communication. Like, we're talking about a freaking hospital. I don't know if it was all of them or not, but like the people I spoke to had no communication about it.
It's crazy.
Like, that's nuts.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You smoke 1 doob. Yeah. Let's call, like, I don't know, gram. That's a lot, right?
That's a lot. I would say that's a lot.
What's
well? I guess it all depends on the person, right? Like if they smoke frequently, maybe they can smoke like a whole gram. But
so Sunday I drove by Baton Rouge, where the Ferrari delership is in Woodbridge. Just show my son the cars, right? The Maseratis and the Ferraris. So there's guys outside. There's a breakfast place, like 9 a.m., right? They're just smoking this cannon. So
seriously,
it's about 5 inches, but that's gonna be a gram, right?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay, so these guys are going at it, and I'm thinking, okay, it's legal. Are they allowed to do that? Like, I'm not even sure if they're allowed to be in the park.
And this is your son is with you as well.
I'm in the car.
Okay.
He doesn't see it. I'm just watching these guys. I'm like, really? It's like 9 a.m. You're gonna go eat eggs and bacon. I guess it's the experience of eating eggs and bacon stoned legally. So they're smoking this cannon.
I didn't know that was the thing.
I don't know if it's legal. These guys are passing back and forth to the parking lot in the morning. Maybe it was early. Maybe it was 8:30. I don't know.
Oh gosh.
So
it just gets better.
How much alcohol would that take? Like the same effect, honestly.
I don't know. Like I guess it's how your body reacts to it. But I mean, like, I got to believe that's like drinking for, like, it's got to be drinking like at least a couple of beers or whatever, right? Like, it's got to be a couple of drinks.
I would think more. I don't know. I would think it's going to be more of a fact, right? If you had 3 beers, you still function. It's nothing, you're okay in a sense. 5, for me anyway, my body size. 5 it's a good night.
Well, so it's probably somewhere around that range, I would say, and I guess everyone is going to react to it differently.
How are those guys going to drive home?
Yeah, like, I don't know, unless they're planning on eating for 2 hours or 3 hours.
But it's like you sit in the parking lot chugging 5 beers each and then going to eat breakfast. Like, I don't know, is that... I don't know. And these are not teenagers. These are like,
adults.
They're like our age, right? Like 38, 40 years old. They're like, screw it. We left the kids and wives at home. We're going to go eat some bacon and eggs and smoke a cannon. Yeah. Maybe they're going to Uber back. I'm not sure. But they're at the tailgate in their back of their truck and just hammering it out, right? So someone has to drive. So I'm just curious by that. Like, I know the effect of it. Like, mind you, I smoked in high school naturally, right? You smoke weed. I knew the effect of that was a lot stronger than, say, alcohol, right?
Yeah.
Like, in a sense, right? It was a different state. But you're out of your body in a sense, right? And
yeah.
I see guys that smoke a lot too. If they get into like a heavy doob, they feel it, right? Their whole persona, everything changes. So it's got to be the same.
It's got to be, and I think it just goes back to us saying like there's so many unknowns about this whole thing still so far. Like there's going to be so much that's still going to come out about it, right?
Yeah.
Like you mentioned insurance a few times. It's just like think about this, like. I don't know. Eventually, the questions are going to have to come out, right? They're not out there right now. But think about this. You and I may know a little bit more how to navigate around unexpected questions and stuff like that. But like, think about just somebody on the phone, like maybe renewing their policy or getting a new policy, and you've done this before, and all of a sudden the agent on the other end of the phone says, "Have you used your home for? Have you grown? Have you grown any marijuana in your house?" Like, you're going to be like.
That's gonna be
I don't know what to say to this. Like, is this good or bad? Are they going to insure my house or not insure my house? Like, like
you made a good point. Absolutely. When they ask you the question, how old's the wiring in the house? Is a septic well?
Yeah.
And have you grown marijuana in the last 3 to 5 years?
You're just gonna add it in there, and you're gonna be like,
I grew for about 3 years. Oh, you grew for 3 years.
Yeah.
Check, and then they're gonna have to find to see if they're gonna insure that.
Okay, and what if, like, and this is my problem with like. I know a lot of people, okay, I'm just going to be honest. So I know a lot of people have insurance, but for some reason, like life insurance and term insurance and whatever else, but for some reason I've been biased towards it because, or have had negative talk come to me about it. It's just saying like, hey, it's a waste of money. Like, you don't know if they're going to pay you out. You're going to be dead. How do you know they're going to pay out? How do you know that they're not going to dig down and find issues about, your personal life or your health or, maybe things that you fail to disclose or whatever and end up not paying you after you're paying into this premium.
For sure.
So like, I'm already kind of like, are they going to pay or not pay? But if you say something like, okay, yeah, we've grown our 4 plants or whatever in the house.
Then it burns down the house.
And something happens. Yeah, something happens to the house that has nothing to do with it, but it says, hey, but you were growing in the house. We feel like this. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like, we don't know.
That's the problem.
And then do you disclose at that point?
People are gonna lie. The good so that.
But don't you? The rule should have been set out like
3 years ago. Yeah. Should have been every year.
You know what to do and what you can't do.
Every year they could have spent as a team at the Liberal government. They could have spent an hour brainstorming like we're doing and drop new hints out.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we're dropping out 10 new points on this new marijuana law. What to look for? What to. How hard
I think they avoided it. Now that we're talking about it, I think they avoided it.
Absolutely.
I think they didn't know what the hell was going on.
Absolutely.
I don't think they have any idea what it is, and they're just trying to live up to this. And look at the time that they're delivering this promise. They're delivering it around the time where they're going to start to get serious about campaigning
next year. Absolutely. Yeah. It's all strategic.
So this is where they're delivering it. And they just, like, I think that they didn't want to talk about it prior to legalization because it would have caused too much controversy and they would not be able to keep up with it. And I think that if they continue to talk about it, they would have got so much pushback on, hey, how are you guys going to handle this? How are you going to handle this? And they would have got so much force that I think that they probably would have had to just push out the timeline and it probably wouldn't have aligned to their timeline of winning votes.
So perfect right now.
Right?
This is like fluoride in the 40s. Numb the public's mind.
Exactly.
You vote me in. This is the same idea. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. I think going back to that point you made with the insurance. So I know there's going to be some great kits, right? There's like the whole things. They're going to be contained. They're going to have a filtration system, a ventilation, exterior venting. Beautiful. But God knows what they're going to cost. I think something like that might be $1,000. Easy to say. What do you think?
Yeah, like, and of course, like, once this new product, like any product in any market, when it comes in, it's going to, come in at a crazy, ridiculous price.
Yeah.
And obviously.
And then Walmart's going to take it down.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're going to get other people. Yeah, exactly. You're going to get other competitors in the field. And think about, like, just to kind of gauge the demand, right? Like, like what I've been hearing on the news is that the government website where you go to buy this marijuana, like basically is like ran out of stock or doesn't have enough, and there's already delays. Like I think first they said 1 to 3 business days to receive, and now they're just saying it's been extended, and like just because they've back ordered and whatever else. So think about how much they probably prepared for this already. Do you know what I mean?
You think they prepared?
Well, obviously, they like from what I hear, they had a huge miss on demand.
Yeah.
So these kits that you were talking about, they're probably going to have a massive demand, and people are going to see that there is room in this market. They're going to come out with these cheaper kits. So let me ask you something else then. So if you have this kit, are you still going to tell the insurance company that, hey, yeah, I'm growing, but I got this like really kick-ass kid, is everything sealed, nothing to worry about.
Vented out. Yeah. They don't care. Yes or no. Yeah, do you grow marijuana? Yes or no.
So the fundamental problem is still going to exist.
It's there. It's going to be a stigma. I don't care what anybody says. It'll become a stigma on the property. So going back to these kids.
Yeah.
So now let's say the guy that makes a lot of money. He's into cultivating, and he's going to spend $1,000 on this kit. Let's call it. So it's beautiful. He drills a hole outside his house through the bricks and the concrete. It's got it vented like a dryer. It's mint. It's not going to contaminate the house.
You know that just scares me, dude. I'm the guy that doesn't even want to drill a hole in the brick to put a camera. Well, like so these people are going to be out there with like a drill.
These are handy guys. You guys do it all day, kind of thing, right? So beautiful.
What if you get the wrong one, bro?